enjoying the swans. Nothing better than this.
Can't beat it. Can't beat it.
You gotta figure out how to talk to women, man.
Let's do the same thing. Fucking Christ.
Fucking ridiculous. Hey, what's up guys? My name is Drew Waddell, back with another video from beautiful, sunny, summery Tokyo. It's just great out here. And as you may have guessed, today's video is about the Kyocera Samurai, which is a beautiful half-frame 35mm film camera from the 1980s. Now looking at this camera, you can immediately tell that it has a unique aesthetic. It looks more like a handycam than your typical 35mm SLR film camera, although I do think this still technically qualifies as an SLR, as it does have a mirror and you do look through the lens. But yes, as I said, automatic half frame. So a half frame camera, what is that? What are those? What do those do? So a half frame camera basically takes a 35mm frame of film and only projects an image onto half of it and then advances to the next half of that film the next time you take a photo. So it uses only half the frame, so you end up getting twice as many photos from the same amount of film, which is good for your wallet. And another interesting thing about this camera is that the film travels vertically. Now you may be thinking, okay, so it takes vertical photos, but you would be very mistaken because this is a half frame film camera. You actually get horizontal photos from this. You see, actually your typical half frame camera takes vertical photos naturally, and if you want to take a horizontal photo, you either have to flip the camera and or apply a crop, and that crop actually further reduces your image quality. But on the Samurai, you have no such issues. To use this camera, you hold it in your right hand. I have this nice plastic grip attached to it, and you stick your fingers in here. This right here is the shutter button. Being an automatic camera, it autofocuses with a half press and a full press to actually take the photo. Now, if you have like Harlem Globetrotter hands, you may be able to adjust the zoom with your fingers, but unfortunately, I was not blessed with such beautiful long fingers. So most normal people are going to have to stick their hands over, which means you end up taking photos like this. Now, you may be thinking, you look like a nerd. You do look like a nerd. However, featured in the advertising material for this camera is the famous Japanese composer. You may know him from Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, Ryuichi Sakamoto.
こういう形。オートフォーカス。3倍ズーム。3倍ズーム一眼コンパクト。京セラの侍。
Who is awesome, and by using this camera you get to be a little bit more like him. Rest in peace. Now as I'm talking about zoom on this camera, of course this is a camera with a zoom lens. As you can see, it is a 25 to 75mm f 3.5 to 4.3. Honestly, I was kind of shocked by just how beautiful and contrasty the photos out of this camera are. Now of course you're recording onto half a frame of film instead of a full frame, which means that yes, you are getting a reduction of image quality, but it doesn't feel like half. Like, I would be perfectly happy posting these photos on Instagram or anything like that. If you're making a large print, it may be a problem, but I think that this camera is perfectly suitable for daily use, and the photos that it produces are, in one word, splendid. They're great. They're beautiful. So now I have a question for you. Have you ever used a half frame camera before? And if so, what's your experience been like with it? What camera do you use? I want to know, so leave a comment down below and I'll make sure to get back to you. Now another thing that's really cool about the Samurai is that due to its novel form factor, counterintuitively, it doesn't really draw that much attention. And it also doesn't create tension. Whether you're taking photos of people or not, you're going to get a lot of looks. People are going to be curious about what you're doing, especially if you look professional and you carry a professional camera. The Samurai, for better or worse, doesn't really look particularly professional, and honestly, I've really enjoyed using it because it's a much more comfortable experience shooting out in public. Whenever you're taking photos with a professional camera, people don't really know who you are. You could be just some guy, or you could be a professional photographer. But with this camera, I can tell you that they're pretty damn sure that you're not a professional photographer, which means that you get to enjoy a much more comfortable picture-taking experience that's a little bit more relaxed. Now, I want to keep this video short today, so summing up in conclusion, this is a really wonderful camera. I've enjoyed saving money with it. I've enjoyed using it. It feels so good in the hand. It fits like a glove. And honestly, I think that for, let me see, 20,000 yen, $150, you can't really do much better than this. I would highly recommend that if you're interested, then you should give it a shot if you find one in a local antique store or wherever you might be. It is a truly joyous camera to use. My name is Drew Waddell, once again signing off from Tokyo. Have a good one.